Quitting a job is never easy. There's a right way and a hard way. Let's talk about it. Roll it. Quitting a job is never easy, and I like to think of it as the right way or the hard way. And of course, the right way is a little bit more harder, but you get to where you need to be because there's a lot of planning involved and more time to really get through the plan, where the other alternative usually is a little bit more challenging, harder, and more stress and pain. I'm gonna create a series of videos based on quitting and how to really quit, because there's different scenarios that exist, and a lot of us go through challenging times when trying to make that decision of quitting. At the end of the day, a job's a job, and we need it to survive, to eat, to buy things. But at the same time, we should have a job where we feel like it's our job. It's something that we were meant to do on some level, but most importantly, we're happy doing. And a lot of the time we forget this point and we get into the routine of whatever job we've gotten into, and life starts to happen. We start to buy things, we start to get into debt, or we start to make educated decisions on what we want to do. We start to buy properties, start to raise a family, and so on and so forth. But once we get into a routine, it's hard to get out of that routine. And in this process, we forget how easy it can be to switch jobs, switch careers if we plan it out right. And we more than not forget the most important part, that everything takes time. And this is the challenging part, is being able to say to yourself, I will make this change, but it takes time, and it's okay that it's gonna take time. Patience is critical here, and the idea is very simple. When we're looking at a switch that we want to make, we need to make the plans, and these plans have to align with what we are currently living in this reality, not in the actual mind that is a narrative of what we think we can do. An example of this is thinking you can just get a job overnight, or going and doing school and finishing a program that you haven't really researched yet, or thinking, hey, I'll do, instead of 2 years, the 1-year program, the advanced one, and I'll do more hours and I'll get through it. And the reality comes about 3 months into that kind of a plan, and it just doesn't work out. Accountability is the name of the game. It's able to actually sit there and be realistic with yourself, start implementing a plan, and then be accountable on the things that need to occur in order for you to achieve the goals that come with that plan. Similar to the series on consistency, we walk through this process where we establish what we want, we start to plan out what is possible based on the reality we live in, and then we execute this plan, and we monitor it each and every day, so that we understand where we are at from a mindset perspective and from a heart perspective. And then we are accountable on our actions in order to achieve the goals within that plan. And we monitor those goals based on a week, 2 week, or month processes, where we can sit there and say, did I achieve the requirements I needed for this time period? The accountability is critical here, because we need to be real with ourselves, not get upset at ourselves, but be real with ourselves. We need to be able to say, hey, I will be able to achieve, and maybe I overestimated what I was capable of doing, and maybe I need to just, spread out a little bit of those big goals and those smaller goals, because maybe my reality is something that I overestimated, or maybe reality is changing, and maybe something is occurring. Plans don't always work out the same way, and this is why we have risk mitigation in business. This is why risk is critical to really be aware of and know what to do when those risk factors take into effect. In the next few videos, I'm going to present a couple emails that have come in where people are going through switches in their lives with quitting their jobs, and they're all different scenarios, and I'm going to come back to it with what to do in different scenarios in a sequence of events, so you can avoid the pain that people are going through. So that if you're thinking about switching careers, thinking of switching schools, courses, or programs that you're in, or maybe business, and you're trying to think, hey, I want to switch from what I'm doing in my business. And of course, it applies to relationships. Maybe you're in a relationship where it's time to call it quits, but you don't, out of fear. Because let's face it, all of this is fear-based. And we tend to not quit because we're comfortable with what is, even though what is not the best. My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Of course, hit the subscribe button to get your daily motivational idea to get you moving in the right direction. And of course, leave your comment below. Leave your story. Time where you decided to quit. Was it a let me think about it process and plan it out, or was it on that moment, let's just quit? Because I think we've all experienced both. We've all gone through it, and who knows, your story might relate to somebody else who's going through something similar, and you might help change a life.